Water is a basic human need, and with about 7 billion of us on the planet, we need a lot of it. But it is not easy to come by. While 71% of the Earth is covered in ocean, only about 3% of the water on the planet is fresh water. Only 1% of all water is easily accessible for human use. Being a desert, Arizona is highly susceptible to drought. 40% of its water comes from one source, the Colorado River. Arizona's annual use of water amounts to 3 trillion gallons, an astronomical figure. Nearly 3/4 of this is devoted to agricultural use, while 20% goes to municipal use, and the remaining fraction goes to industrial. Since 1980, Arizona's annual use of water has actually decreased and rests now at about 6.9 million acre-feet. In previous years, the Colorado River has supplied between 16 and 20 million acre-feet of water annually, but now the flow dwindles to just over 7 million.
On a local scale, there are significant complexities we have to consider when talking about ethics surrounding water. In Arizona, there's a significant indigenous population that value certain landmarks and bodies of water. Indigenous water ethics is a very real thing in Arizona. It's been long debated. To approach this issue, we have to understand it in the manner in which indigenous tribes value water and what we make of it as a Western society. In North Dakota and Illinois, there was a scandal regarding water ethics during the interaction between the Standing Rock tribe and the police. The tribe and other supporters were attacked by the police with high-powered mace and water jets during their peaceful protests. Protesters worked towards stopping an oil line from passing under the Missouri River, a river that they were very attached to. Government involvement proved to be a bad idea in this case. This is an important example of the UN's involvement in global water ethics. On a global level, Africa, the country with the worst water conditions currently, is undergoing serious ethical issues. Countries like Niger were being bribed into privatizing their water sources. Privatization is the process of allowing private companies to come in and take ownership of the water source and to sell it as a product. This puts poor communities of Africa in serious danger because they are now robbed of their access to clean water. Niger's government proved to be unethical in this case. Maybe if the UN had been involved with Niger's government, Niger might be in a better water situation.
As stated previously, a large portion of Arizona's water comes from the Colorado River, and with the river supply dwindling, water planning will become a huge factor in upcoming elections. Currently, Arizona has two major water usage plans: Safe Yield and Assured Water Supply. Safe Yield restricts how much water is pumped out of the ground, proportionally with how much the reservoir is refilled annually. The problem with Safe Yield is that the law allows more water to be pumped out of the ground than is replenished each year, meaning that the water reservoirs will never be fully refilled. Assured Water Supply, conversely, is geared more towards future planning and requires major Arizona cities to present an annual water plan for the next 100 years, preventing cities from falling into a drought without ample time to prepare. As our water supplies dwindle, drought plans will become ever more prevalent in local elections. Globally, the challenge persists. South Africa is currently in a drought so severe, next summer it might run out of water. The government is taking drastic measures to prevent this catastrophe. The country is under level 6 water restrictions, prohibiting the use of municipal drinking water for anything other than consumption or bathing. On top of that, each person is limited to only 87.5 liters, or 23 US gallons, of water each day. That is less than a third of the United States' national average. These major water restrictions have prevented Cape Town's taps from running dry, at least for another year.
Although popular opinion now is divided, water is still very much treated as a product. In Lagos, Nigeria, the government made a move to partner with a large private water company to lay pipes that would supply drinking water to millions. However, they deemed it too cost-prohibitive. From the citizens' perspective, though, they still have to pay premiums on water that is still unsafe to drink. Demand for water in Lagos has only increased and will continue to do so, as will demand in the rest of the world.
To further our understanding of this topic, we contacted an expert in the water conservation field, Dr. Doug Parker from the California Institute for Water Resources, on whether the government should have control over our water rights.
Dr. Parker explained that the government should provide a water conservation plan for the public to follow, but not without very good reason. He further explains that those who lose with this water plan should be compensated, such as factories that use large amounts of water in production. Government should take control of water rights when needed, but only sparingly.